no, everybody in DC is insane. Just like everybody in Marvel is absolutely
All
insane.
right.
And
Fair point. Fair
so,
point. Fair point. Right. Let's flip this though, because that's just frankly what I do. Um, I'm curious, and I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I took a pretty good look as far as everything you've written. Um, and your favorite genre of
this,
film is sci-fi and adventure, right? And I'm pretty sure
I,
looking at,
I like writing pretty much anything, but
okay,
I grew up in a household. I mean, my dad used to read loads of like Philip K. Dick and Asimov and everything. And my mom used to love the original Star Trek and was a uh, an artist on some of the old school fanzines in the 70s and 80s. So I mean, I grew up in a sci-fi household, but I pretty much love any genre.
okay. Well, my specific question in regards to that though is, like, you've never written anything from the big two. That's really what I would consider a sci-fi character, correct?
I wrote
I mean,
Hawk Girl
see,
in
I wouldn't. But those I would
2016.
consider. I guess you could consider those. I would consider those more adventure characters. I wouldn't consider those sci-fi characters.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean
Okay.
more like the likes of Lobo, the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm trying
No,
to
I
think
didn't
of
do any,
right.
but what
Well,
Marvel
that's
would
fine. That's
consider
fine.
them
No,
the
no, no, no,
cosmic
no.
characters.
I
So
know,
I've
I
never
know, I
done
know,
any
no,
of
no,
that.
no, no. I don't. That's fine. That's fine. I understand. I'm curious if you could pick one of those real
Martian Manhunter
sci-fi.
and Beta Ray Bill.
Damn.
yes, woo! I'm sorry. Look, for one, Betty Ray Bill is the shit. Martian Manhunter's fun and whatnot. I would like to see all sorts of shit, but Beta Ray Bill, that was one of the greatest answers ever.
Man,
Why
man,
though?
that's
Why
funny
why
because
Why?
Martian Manhunter and Beta Ray Bill?
Well, Beta Ray Bill is the cosmic Captain America. He is the he is the best of his people who was experimented on and turned into a protector, a weapon, and considered the paragon of what his people could be. So he
it's
is the cosmic Captain America in my mind.
Hey,
um
no, that's a perfect description of Beta Ray Bill. I like it.
Um, because if you think about it, like literally, he was this small, meek little person who is voted by his people to be who's like basically the pure of heart. I mean, that's the whole thing with Captain America. The reason why the super soldier serum didn't make him go insane was because he was pure of heart, for lack of a better term. And it's the same thing with Bill. In terms of why Martian Manhunter is because I think that having the ability to be anybody but not know who you yourself are is interesting. He can be anybody. He can mimic anyone. But who is John Jones? And then when they brought in Malifaux and the whole White Martian thing and everything, and they brought that into the lore. It was interesting because he was no longer the last one or the only Martian left. But even still, so he knows who he is in reference to Malifaux. Does he know who he is in reference to the larger universe as a whole? Because he can be anybody. He can take on the personality like a Skrull. He can be anybody, but who is he? Does that make sense?
oh no,
No, no,
that
no.
totally
It,
makes
it
sense.
definitely does. I'm just
Um
curious
oh,
when it comes to Martian Manhunter is when they're going to touch on the fact that that whole little fire thing is like a psychological thing more so than anything. But uh, why? Look, I love yo. I love for one, Martian Manhunter is one of my favorite characters in DC. Um, just because he could, like you said, he could be anybody. He could do damn near anything. And he's like the head of Stormwatch. Like, come on now.
can I say
You
too
can't
though, as far as in
Stormwatch.
regards to your answers, um
but
I
and
know
then
you're
and then
right.
Beta. Hold on, I'm not done. And then Beta Ray Bill is my favorite just because the first time you run into Beta Ray Bill is like one of my favorites because Ant Man's still my favorite. Period. All right, but Beta Ray Bill being able to pick up Mjolnir and smack the crap out of Thor had me rolling on. I was like,
he had mercy.
He's worthy.
But this is the other thing: is Beta Ray Bill had mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, can I say, in regards to what you said, Erica, it really makes me want to see, specifically you, write a Beta Ray Bill Captain America team up, like a little arc.
Man,
That'd be awesome.
I think
I do want to see that image.
Yeah, because I very just recently read the most recent Beta Ray Bill that they put out, where they do go into the fact of like his whole backstory, and it really he's trying to
Oh,
get
the Daniel Warren Johnson stuff.
Yeah, Daniel. Which is lovely. It was lovely, Daniel. I'd love to have you on honestly to discuss it, because Dave was trying to get me to buy a Thunder Falcon, and then he said it got all sad, and I was like,
Murder
"Fuck you,
Falcon."
dude." Yeah, Murder. Yeah,
Murder Falcon.
yeah, and Murder Falcon. Sorry, he said he was trying to get me to buy that, and he said, "Man, he gets all sad," and I was like, "Fuck you, dude. I don't want that right now in my life. You find me something by him that's more up." He's like, "Oh, well, then get the Beta Ray Bill." I was like, "All right." So, and it was wonderful as far as in just breaking down how much he's similar to Captain America. Curious, like, let's say somebody hands you that and you can do it. What do you think you'd do with it, Erica? Can I ask for a pitch?
Well, Beta Ray or Beta Ray plus Cap?
Oh yeah, Beta Ray and Cap, because I think that's way more interesting.
Beta Ray and Cap. Okay, well, Beta Ray is of a certain age. I mean, he's not, he doesn't age like humans. So I'm wondering if we can bring Beta Ray in earlier and have, like, maybe even World War II time, have Cap sort of hunting down Nazis and who have found a way to sort of open a portal to space. And Cap finds his way sort of chasing after them. And in doing so, runs into Beta Ray. And Beta Ray obviously recognizes, Cap's loyalty, goodness, all this other stuff, and helps. And Beta Ray will, and obviously Scuttlebutt, help Cap track down, because the Nazis, the bad guys, whomever, because obviously these are not good for Earth, but they're also not good for the rest of the universe. That kind of thing. And then,
did they ever say
Cap
how
off.
I'm sorry, but did they ever say how many missions Captain America has done in World War II? Ever?
No, I don't think there's a specific time. But see, this is the other thing though, is because, like, if you go back, so the 1941 Captain America, the Joe Simon, Jack Kirby stuff, is, there were a bunch of things that were rewritten when they brought Cap back in the 60s, because there are flashback episodes in that Stan Lee wrote, along with Jack Kirby, obviously, that talk about missions that were never spoken about in the first run. So for all you know, this stuff happened, and it just hasn't been chronicled yet. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So I mean, so there really is a lot of leeway in terms of continuity.